What's going on, Thorn Army? Joe here. Lax All-Stars Invitational 2017 gear bag video. Let's do it. First up, probably the oldest thing in my bag is my bucket. This is a Bauer React. It's probably my favorite helmet I've ever had, including field helmets, hockey helmets. I absolutely love this helmet. Extremely adjustable, low in the back, low in the front, very protective, and it just kind of sits on your head really, really nicely. It's got an old Oxy cage to it that I picked up in Nova Scotia a few years ago, and it was painted blue, and now the paint's coming off. I almost kind of like it more. It looks kind of badass, if you ask me. And then white chin, of course, super gross. Chris doesn't ever want to go near this. He often mentions he can smell it from his office when it's in the closet down the hallway. And I have to concur with him. Next up, shoulders and biceps. We have the M3. I've had these forever. Absolutely great, super lightweight, you know, just has just enough protection that you need. Mostly it's that kind of sternum and sometimes collarbone from hitting and slashing. And then I have the Under Armour biceps that I've molded a little bit to my arms. I really like these. They're cutaway, so you don't really notice you're wearing them that much. And sometimes I take one of them off if I'm mostly going out the back door. But have served me quite well, and I like how they kind of look like they go together with the black on black. The only thing that scares me is the neon green and then the yellow and red interior, but you don't ever see that, so I don't even know why I'm bringing it up. Moving on down from the shoulder pads, we have the bicep pads. These are just the Under Armour kind of stormtroopery ones. And I believe these are the smaller size, which I kind of like. I don't like the giant rib pads. They just, you know, kind of get in the way more times than protecting you. So I like these, the tinier ones. I do have a pair of the bigger ones. I just kind of choose to use these. Probably when I get hurt, I'll start wearing the bigger ones. But until that day, we're rocking the small ones. Next up, we have my elbows. Really like these elbows. I got these when I was playing with the Lacrosse Unlimited team, and we were sponsored by Warrior, and they got the BOA system. Here, I'm even gonna put them on just to show you. People, every time I put these on in a locker room, people like make me do it 3 times just to understand. So you push it in, and you rotate it, and then you pull out the bottom, and they're really on there. And why I really like these, they're not the most protective thing for box, but you know, I'm playing more transition D, so I'm not getting hacked too much, but you can make them really tight and they won't shift kind of when you're putting on your jersey and whatnot, which I've had some other ones. Then when you return them, just pop them up and they come right off. I've watched them a few times, they've held up great, and they're nice. The only thing that also kind of bothers me is where the elbow cap isn't, it might just be my arm. It's kind of weird. So I end up usually putting them up a little bit for field and then down a little bit for box so the bicep fits in. But I've worn them for indoor and outdoor and been pretty happy with them. Next up, we have gloves. And I've been doing something for quite a while, actually since the hockey days, and that is 2 pairs of gloves. And I always really liked white gloves. I thought that was kind of a really, really cool look. And a lot of the teams I play with, we of course have white jerseys, so it's an interesting look to it. But then we also have black jerseys, so I don't know. I ended up usually getting some gloves or having 2 pairs laying around, so I always went for a dark pair and a light pair, kind of for like a home and away. And so that's what I've been doing with these 2 pairs. It also makes them last a little bit longer. So over here we have the Warrior Evos. I think they're just the straight Evos. Again, we got these with the LU team to go with the elbows. Really nice. They're really protective for box with this huge kind of top piece to it. Nice leather palm. Can't really go wrong. They're kind of just like the standard lacrosse glove today. So really like those. And the Max gloves from Maverick, which I like even more. My favorite thing is they're a little bit more narrow, a little bit more fitted. So you really can feel the stick, and they're kind of like suede. I think is superior to the Warrior ones in terms of contact with the stick. And then they have this like flaring cuff with the Velcro, and usually I fold all my cuffs out to give me a little more movement. Again, coming from hockey, and these actually flare and stay, which I think is super cool. And I don't know, I would never do this in a million years, wear 1 and 1, but I like being able to switch out. Also, when we're playing 5 games in 3 days or something like that, it's nice to have some dry gloves to switch out to. So I usually pack 2 pairs, 1 dark, 1 light. And next up, we have footwear. And you might be thinking, Joe, I thought you were gonna play box. Why do you have cleats? And I have a story for you. We're going up to Onondaga. We're playing at the field house there, the epic field house. And actually some of the games are gonna be outside in that like 100-year-old box, which is dirt. So I'm bringing these just in case. Footing's usually kind of an issue for me because I try to be light on my feet, but will not get pushed around. So I'm gonna bring these up because I think we're all gonna be wearing cleats for when we head outside to the outdoor box. And I am so pumped to play on that. But these are some Under Armours. Sorry, Under Armour, I do not know the name of them, but you did send them to me. They're gold, so yeah, I like them. And for indoor, we have some fresh Nikes. These are the Nike Vapor Speed Turfs. These things are pretty sick. They kind of got this white, gray, kind of wolfy gray with this metallic pearl kind of outer jazz. They're pretty zazzy. The one thing is that they're really hard to get your foot in, but I guess you don't want your foot coming out. And I love the bottom. When these came out, it actually looked like something that I would actually like for turf. I've had the Hirachis and a few other things, and it kind of just feels like you're wearing a tennis shoe with just a bad outsole to it. But these with these little like highlighter spikes is what I call them. I think they're gonna be pretty sick. And I think the white on white is gonna look fresh because we have like kind of like carbon jerseys with some red in it. Yeah, excited to wear these. And when you're playing against the Thompsons and stuff, it's kind of fun to wear their stuff. Last thing in the main bag is my Odor Gladiator. I've had this thing forever. Kind of got the OG Throne colors. Still smells good. I think I replaced it once and it still smells good. So should pretty awesome product. All right, so on the left outside pocket, I usually just have one of our cinch bags, and it's got kind of all the random stuff that's usually thrown in your bag. I usually try to prepare for everything I'll need, but it usually is pretty helpful for a team, especially when you guys travel a lot. You'll gain some good friends. You could trade some good stuff for what you got in here. So first up, of course, is scissors and a lighter, just in case someone needs a repair. Always have that in there. And then tape. I try to hide this as much as I can because that whole roll will go instantaneous. Eye black, play a lot of field lacrosse, and also in Prague it's outdoors, so I always need eye black. I have this really awesome Gerber Multi-Tool that I think Eve or Chris got me, but I've used it a lot and it's blacked out and it comes in this cool little thing, so whoever got that for me, I absolutely love it. Next up is a Gopro Headstrap. Don't use this as much, but I kind of have a backup in here. And then also, of course, a bunch of just random helmet stuff and box. Helmets break a lot because they're kind of meant for hockey and we're hitting each other a lot in the heads. And then I always usually have 2 balls. They're not usually brand new, but they're pretty decent. You'd be surprised to how many real games and tournaments and things I go to and there's no balls, and I've often traded these for things worth a lot more when people don't have balls and need to do a photo shoot. I'm like, well, I like those gloves over there, but always have balls on you. And then the final thing, of course, is I just have a fiber kit kind of thrown in here just in case I need it, but I usually have a bonus head, which I'll show you in a second, in case there's anyone else, or if I meet someone and you know, they're looking to pick up some product, I got something I can throw their way. So it's pretty awesome. We include these bags with pretty much every head we string. So they're awesome just to kind of have, throw them in there. You got your extra stuff in. I know Chris also uses one for his cleats with some balls and stuff, so you can always just kind of, you know, hit the field and have a shoot around, and it's there, it doesn't take up a lot of room, and they're usually free with some orders. And in the final pouch, we just kind of have some random stuff. First up, I usually have a brand new head that's done up and I know that I've thrown around with and it's good to go. This is that Dota head that I threw in there. I was thinking about using for this, but my Old Faithful, which I'll show you in a second, has just been serving me well. And I usually have this also a lot of times, especially in box, guys will, we travel a lot, so you don't really pack as many sticks as you could if you just threw in your car. So it's good to have a head that you can throw someone on your team that might need one that you know is gonna throw straight for them. Always have an extra pair of socks. Here we have the core training socks, and the blue and the red matches the team. So I'm gonna bring an extra pair of those. I know a bunch of the guys have them as well. I actually don't have my jerseys yet, but I usually throw my jerseys and stuff in there. I actually gave my jerseys away last time, so gonna have to get some new ones. Extra pair of shorts in case, you know, especially in Prague or when you're playing field and you fall, you always need an extra pair of shorts because wet shorts are the worst. And then I usually have one of our field jackets. You know, these are super popular. You guys love these jackets. I usually have one in there in case it's raining or whatnot. I always don't have to like have a random jacket, but I usually like to have one of the many that we've made in there. And then the thing that you'd expect least in my bag is I always have a backup phone charger, and that's because if we're doing Instagram or whatever we're doing filming wise, my phone always dies. So I always kind of bring one of those, and lucky enough, I'm usually able to plug it in. And then we just have some thrown cards and stuff like that just thrown in there. And anything I talk about. Here's my dope Uncommon Fit kind of throwback Legion kind of thrown a string bag that they gave me this year in Prague. And I almost forgot to show you guys my actual stick. This is my Privateer kind of Nova Scotia flag tactic. We did a custom stringing video on this. I'll put a link in the top right hand corner and also in the description below. I love the tactic. I think you guys know this by now, but this one is held up like crazy. It's faded a little bit. You know, it's got a ton of scoopies, actually a few like scratches, like gouges in it. It served me very well. And I was gonna put a new stick together or maybe use the new Epic one, but I don't know, this one's just dialed in and it has the fiber bait in it. So I really want to see how far I can push this mesh, but it's been serving me strong since April. Absolutely love this thing. Strung up with the W4, and then it's on my favorite kind of old school solid titanium, like 220 gram titanium, just a little bit of donut on the end. Perfect for box, nice and strong, good balance to it, good for ground balls, good for everything. I can't believe the amount of stress I've put this shaft through, and it's still just completely fine. There's a few dents in it, but nonetheless, it'll serve me well. So that's gonna be my daily driver for the tournament this weekend, and we might be throwing on this bad boy halfway through depending on how this one holds up, especially with us possibly playing outside. This one doesn't do too good in the summer or in the sun after playing it with this whole summer. That's my gear bag for the 2017 Lax All-Stars Invitational. We're gonna be covering the entire event on our Instagram at Throne of String. I'll also put a link in the description below where you guys can go and get some more info over on Lax All-Stars site itself. If you're in the area, it's an unbelievable tournament. There's a ton of Iroquois teams, a few Canadian teams, a few American teams, and some guys coming over from across the pond. It's true box lacrosse, and the coolest thing is they're also having the Wood Stick Expo at the same time, so you can come see some of the best stick makers in the world and catch a few games itself. But again, if you can't catch it, definitely check out our Instagram and laxallstars.com. As always, let me know what you think of my gear bag in the comments below. How about you let me know your favorite piece from all of this? And that's everything. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the field.